What is up, everybody? We got ourselves another Halo Wars 2 3 versus 3 ranked battle that we got going on here. I'm playing as UNSC. We have our teammate as Yellow playing as Covey, Red as UNSC, going against nothing but triple UNSC against the enemy. So we're going to see how this one turns out, and just based off the build order, I'm already going to go ahead and grab this mini base. So we're going double supply, making a marine right away. Because, fun fact, if you make that additional marine, you can get additional resources. There's a lot of it in the map, so making that one extra unit will help make up for that extra marine you end up getting, or grunt, along the way. And so, second supply pad gets done. We're upgrading our first supply pad, and now our second gen is coming down, and still haven't decided what point I'm going to go ahead and use. I am playing as Johnny, just as what we saw from the leader point. And so we're just going to go ahead and keep getting infantry around the map, supply around the map. And speaking of which, we just saw a marine show up to try and get that mini base. So it actually worked out with the fact that I chose to go ahead and get this mini right away, get that extra supply pad on there. It does delay what my next building point will be, which will be gen. So that is the downside of it. But we are able to at least stop the mini base from being taken, so that's always a plus. So we're going to go ahead and try and take the rest of the resources around the map and start our marine production. And we're going to get our first gen to be upgraded because we just hit that 300. There we go. And now that we have our mini and our main base in full production, we're going to keep making those marines. Now, if I'm not mistaken, dark blue is Anders. I don't remember who green is, and I don't remember who light blue is, which makes the commentation all a bit more spicy and more interesting. So looking around, seeing if there's going to be a second base that's going to be established. We put those marines in hold position. Now we're also going to start working on the power nodes, and now we're just going to build our economy up. We have enough to upgrade our second gen. And now it's time for the next phase. And if you look, our teammate is already grabbing a second expansion. Very ballsy on their part to go ahead and do so, especially since we don't know what exactly the enemy is doing yet. Once again, this is kind of a blind build, but we are going to go ahead and get our hero out, keep making the infantry, and it does look like we will probably go barracks one way or another, or at least bunker, since we're producing a lot of marines. But it's a little bit too soon to tell, but I think that's the direction that we're going to end up going. And so the power is still free on that side, so not only do I get the free power because my teammate just didn't have the opportunity to grab it, I guess, I am also just going to keep upgrading my infantry. Did get the grenade upgrade, so with me getting the grenade upgrade, I'm guessing I'm playing against a forge of some sort, or Serena, because they are vehicle heroes. So we will see. Our teammate is starting to get the big supply going on, and now we're going to go ahead and try and pressure mid to see if we can get that mid node, right? Power nodes are always good to have, so we're going to see if we can do a little bit of pressure in this regard, see if the enemy's there or not. If not, we're going to go ahead and try and engage these sentinels so we can go ahead and get that extra power. So grenade ability has just finished with that upgrade, which is always pretty nice. Still continuing our infantry upgrade. Hero is being built as well. Supply pad is being upgraded, and in my opinion, I don't think it's worth spending that 200 power for that upgrade just yet, mainly because of the fact that we are double producing marines, and it's not like the extra supply is going to help us out in any point of the way. So we'll see. We are going to go ahead and get smart missile. I mean, and there's a second expansion. There's two second expansions by the enemy going on here. And they do have the grenade ability themselves as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a bunker. We're going to get our two marines in this bunker to start pressuring this base. And we're going to start shifting our units down to the bottom. Yellow is starting to move out themselves. It does look like they have some sort of ghost, I would say, just given how fast that is moving around the map. Which means our teammate's probably playing Shipmaster. And now our hero is here as well. Heavy metal does get popped on those 3 infantry, but unfortunately it's not really going to help them, because that bunker is just going to end up doing a lot of work, and our hero is not going to end up going down by just some measly Marines. And so we're coming in here. We're going to start throwing these grenades on the base to get rid of it as fast as possible. And it does look like we're going to end up killing this base relatively fast, and he ends up self-destructing it at the end. So very good play in that regards. Honestly, thinking about it, maybe it would have been best to just let him build that first before I go ahead and send that through. And look at that. They already have some snipers being established on the high ground. This is what's going to make it a little bit harder to go ahead and deal with any pushes that we want to do to try and take that high ground. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and just drop some more bunkers, keep getting Marines in them, so that way we can get the extra vision, and that way we can also try and establish a second base. One of our infantries get taken, one of the Marines inside the infantry bundle ended up getting taken out by the sniper, but it is all good. We're setting ourselves up. We are finally at Tech 2. We're going to get a vehicle pad and an air pad as well. And now we're going to just try and do some damage against this infantry at the top in order for us to then be able to grab the second base. Our hero almost lost all the shields associated with it, but it did not happen, which is good. So Yellow's still doing a great job using his ghost to go around the map, deal damage against units. And I'm just still trying to establish some sort of standard for second base as a whole. Another set of ghost snipers are out, so we're going to go ahead and take that out. And we're going to start with our Kodiak production, mainly because we have bunkers, so we want to see if we could take advantage of that. I just had two big yawns and I have no idea why, but we're going to go ahead and get combat mechanic, go help our Marines with that anti-air just in case it shows up. This is a classic Kodiak infantry build, and they're doing a great job, right? They have snipers set up at a good distance such that we can't really touch them, and it's a little bit difficult to be able to get a good push going on or get a good siege that we want. And so look at that, I have 4 snipers there. Green is coming in to help reinforce, and there you go, there's the set now. So green is the one with the Anders, and unfortunately those infantry there are not going to end up making it. We're going to try and get a Kodiak over here set up. We do move our global rally point over, and now we're going to go ahead and try and retreat. The ghosts are here to try and do some damage and help deal with the snipers that are at the top of the map. Now how do I know this? I am just using prediction ability, and because I'm using the mini map, and look at that, we were able to get rid of that. And there is the first sign of siege. So now we're playing a battle of who is going to siege the other one first. So now we're going to go ahead and get that vehicle upgrade. We're still working on our second base. Our hero's still doing relatively good. A third yawn comes along the way, and now look at this, bunch of Marines, bunch of plain vets. We were going to go ahead and drop down the Mac. We're not going to drop it down just yet. We do have a bunker that's going to go ahead and go down. We are doing some damage on the Kodiaks. Cleansing comes down on everything green has, which is always pretty nice. Y move gets popped by Johnson to heal that bunker. Now we're going to start moving up that siege while we can, and looks like yellow was able to get rid of the Kodiaks as a whole, but green does have a sentinel turret, a siege turret, which will become a problem down the line once they get that tech ability to be able to get sentinels spawning with them. So we're really right heavy right now. Red isn't really doing much at the moment, at least I haven't been paying attention to that side of the map. In regards to the mini map during this commentation, I am getting the upgrade for our bunker to have shields, and looking back at this was not really the play. Green has shown up with air, green is showing that they're going to do siege, as well as blue. So I think going bunkers was not really, getting the second point in bunkers was not really a good idea. I think mechanical mech overcharge would be better. Getting a siege turret, even though the siege turret ability is not that great. Maybe double point per Mac. That would have been the best option in my opinion. But I'm still staying in this infantry tech. We do have bunker ready, and now we're going to go ahead and try and establish more of a foothold push if possible. Green is showing up for a scout that also try and take that power node as well, and they were able to shut that down completely. So we're in this weird spot. We don't really have infantry upgrades either, mind you. All I've seen is vehicle pad and air pad. We are going to go ahead and try and capture this node, but we clearly weren't able to. They also have that Sentinel upgrade for the siege already, so Wolverines are being made, and we do have combat mechanic, which will always be nice to have, but all in all, this is going to prove to be a problem on how to deal with this anti-air as a whole. And there you go, Sentinels are going down, which is a shame. We don't really have anything for it. Displacement comes down, which is always pretty nice. Their Cyclops are coming in as well. Unfortunately, we were going to be able to push that back as well. Turrets are doing all right against the Sentinels, and luckily we do have Siphon for the turrets, so they'll be able to heal up as they continue to do some damage. And green is starting to get a good push on the upper end of that right side of the lane. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can continue to apply pressure on this side and see what type of additional damage we can do. Looking at their comp, it's a little bit hard because they have nothing but Cyclops and air, and I don't really have a proper answer to this. Look, this gets entirely destroyed so fast. It's not like we're able to do anything about it. Our siege is doing good against their army that they have going on there, but it's still a problem. Leader ability does get popped as well, which is quite unfortunate, but we're gonna go ahead. I'm so sorry, I don't know why I've yawned for a fourth time, but we're gonna go ahead and get in some more air now. We're gonna try and transition out of this vehicle infantry tech, and as you just saw, there is a Condor by light blue just chilling at the top, so things are starting to get a little bit more dicey. My army comp is not really the best to fight this, and I don't feel like I have the right opportunities to push anymore. I think that time has passed, and as I mentioned before, that second bunker was not really the best idea. Hindsight 2020. So we're going to start getting that infantry upgrade, and we're going to start to continue to produce infantry, but we have completely lost this right lane. And there you go, you have blue as forge, and so they have their grizzly tanks already ready to go. So speaking of Condor, our teammate red has also made a Condor themselves, so it looks like yellow is going to go ahead and try and assist red, our teammate, to the best of their ability, which means it's going to be my responsibility to try and hold my lane off even if a 2v1 occurs, because we're going to try and get a 2v1 on them. There's a Condor, their base is fortified and has sensor towers, and so it's going to be very hard to get any sort of good push from mid or right side of the map at the very moment. And so it does look like left side is relatively weak. Blue is still on one base, which is always the plus. So we're just going to hope that our teammates will be able to actually apply the pressure that they need to. And there's green. I pinged mid to let my teammates know, hey, the mass air was last seen here. This is something worth paying attention to. And now look, green is starting to come down to the south to where I'm at, and they're going to go ahead and try and deal pressure to me. And their infantry is a lot more, their air is a lot more upgraded than mine. I wanted to call in a Mac and I wasn't able to, but this time around we were able to. So great cleansing beam and Mac combo. We end up getting rid of a lot of the air that's associated with the green. And yes, we do end up losing Kodiaks, but that is totally okay because we are trying to transition out of ground. And we're going to be switching to air, mainly because getting hit by the Sentinel siege is always a pain in the butt. Tactical Gateway does get called on this side of the map, and it does look like it's not the most favorable matchup on this side, mainly because of the fact that there are just some tanks as a whole. So he's going to go ahead and start retreating again, and this is going to be my cue to come in and try and dish out as much damage as I can before I can go ahead and retreat. And there you go, air starting to show up by green, so I need to go ahead and retreat. I am now in a 2v1 situation. I am on the clock. My hero decided to go into a spot where he wasn't supposed to, so RIP Johnson. And now I have anti-air turrets, and I'm going to need to just hold off to the best of my ability. We're going to keep making some hornets. We're going to remake our hero, but abilities are now being popped on our side of the map, and it's going to be my job to try to hold to the best of my ability and hope that yellow and red will be able to do something on their side. Fortunately, blue has not pushed just yet, so I'm going to just keep falling back to rely on my turrets for my base to continue to give me the anti-air support that I need. We are running low on the supply, but green isn't really targeting my base just yet. And now here we go. We're in a situation where there's two armies on my side, both green and blue. But there was a breakthrough at the top of the lane, which means all I need to do is try to hold off to the best of my ability. Displacement does end up getting called to bring back Green's army, but they're going to head back to my second base. So I made the decision to just let go of my second base. There's no way I'm going to be able to save it. I'm not going to lose my army to try and defend this. And so unfortunately, everything there is going to end up dying. And now we have to start setting up defenses for our one and only base. We do have digging in deep, so if we do get ourselves a second base, we will be able to rebuild up very cheaply, which is always a plus. And Green looks like he is going to go ahead and fall back. So now I just need to make sure that I have everything I need to be able to take the next step in my push. Blue does look like he is going to try and finish the deal since I am now on one base. But as I mentioned before, I am going to do my best to just hold my lane. It is now my responsibility to just make sure I don't collapse. Green and light blue are now fighting, so there's a 2v2 at the top end and only a 1v1 on my side. And so as long as I don't overcommit and get my army killed, I'm going to be just fine. I have anti-vehicle turrets because Wolverines are my biggest threat, and there's digging in deep, so I guess I predicted what I was going to get further down the road. But it does look like there's just a good push happening as a whole at the top. Our enemy Condor is taking some good damage, but now all of a sudden you got yourself some great Scorpion drops at the top. And now here's my, I need to start retreating. I'm getting pushed on my lane. There are some Wolverines I have to go ahead and deal with, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to throw down the Mac. But it looks like we're not even going to engage that, even though we threw down the Mac. That was an excellent opportunity to try to take out the remainder of the units. But between our anti-vehicle turrets and what is left, oh, and here comes the Mac, we're going to go ahead and clean up everything that is here. And that's going to be GG in regards to just taking out what was left of blue. Heavy metal does get popped, but it's not really going to go ahead and save what they got. And it was just a tough call all in all, right? To be able to give up my base on that second hand side, knowing that we have ourselves momentum and a push at the top end side. Unfortunately, I had to be the sacrifice in order for that to happen. But that's where game sense comes in, right? Like, there are some players that will unfortunately ping like crazy and be like, my base, my base, my base, my base. I'm getting 2v1, I'm getting 2v1. But you have to understand the situation as a whole and see, is this situation, even though I'm at a disadvantage, is it helping my team out as a whole? And in this case, it did. I understood the situation. I knew what yellow and red were trying to do. And I understood that I was going to lose my base. It's not something I enjoy. It's not something that I want to happen, but it's unfortunately something that was going to happen just given the circumstances of the game. And so Green now gets eliminated, which means all that is left is just blue and his massive amount of Wolverines that I can't even fight and kill, which is quite unfortunate. So Y-Move is getting popped across the board with the smoke screens. We're going to keep trying to deal with damage, but man, those heals are kind of a pain to deal with. And displacement is starting to come down, so yellow can go ahead and take the kills and take the glory. Great job by yellow and the shipmaster, helping at the beginning on my lane and then shifting over to help red to deliver the push that they need to. And so once again, I've said this before, but this is why I love team games. It's just a great opportunity to just remember, sometimes things aren't going to go your way, but you have teammates to help you out and help you pick yourself back up when things get bad. So there you have it. These are the stats. If you enjoyed this video, by all means, leave a comment, subscribe, like. I would enjoy that. If not, it is all good. No worries. With that being said, have a good one. Have a splendid one. Enjoy the rest of your day, week, or month. Until next time, G out.